Using reference frames is a must to work efficiently with any robot, and this is true for Mecademic robots too. However, Mecademic takes a slightly different approach to using reference frames, which we will explain in this video. In Mecademic robots, you deal with only two reference frames: the World Reference Frame, or WRF, the Tool Reference Frame, or TRF. Every Cartesian position that the robot reports or that is specified to the robot is expressed as the position and orientation of the TRF with respect to the WRF. The main difference between Mecademic robots and most other brands is that these reference frames can be repeatedly redefined. This means that in effect, the robot has an infinite number of reference frames, and all it takes to change it is to use a simple command. Let's first talk about the World Reference Frame. It is a fixed reference frame, meaning it doesn't move when the robot moves. We can set its position by using the command SetWrf XYZ alpha beta gamma. This will change the position of the reference frame with respect to the robot's base frame. So every time you call the command, the position will be set concerning the base frame, not the previous definition of the WRF. This is extremely useful, especially for code reusability. A good example would be a grid-based pick-and-place application. Let's first start with the pick sequence in tray 1. It would probably look something like this. We approach our position with a joint move at 20 millimeters along Z from our target, go down with a linear move, close our gripper, and then retract back along Z at 20 millimeters. A place would most likely be very similar, but would open the gripper, and the approach and retract position would likely be interchanged. But we'll talk about the place sequence later. This is a typical scenario, and if we didn't place the WRF in the corner of the pick tray, all the 9 dice positions would have to be taught individually. Instead, we can calculate the poses of all 9 positions by using regular increments in X and Y. Now, most importantly, to define the 9 dice positions on tray 2, where we want to place the dice, we only need to redefine the WRF at the corner of the place tray, and then reuse the Cartesian poses from the pick tray. The tool reference frame works the same way as the WRF, but is attached to the robot's flange and will move with it. Its 0 position is at the center of the tool flange, with the Z-axis pointing out and the X-axis pointing down. The TRF can be defined with respect to the tool flange by using the command SetWrf XYZ alpha beta gamma. This will change the position the same way it's done for the WRF, but concerning the tool flange instead of the robot's base. Depending on the application, setting the TRF at the correct position can be very important. Especially when it comes to applications like dispensing, it's critical to get the TRF correctly to ensure the tooltip follows the path properly. It's also worth doing for pick-and-place applications. The TRF would be placed between the fingers where the part is picked. That way, if the finger design changes, the TRF can be adjusted, and the points do not need to be retaught.